All right, good morning, at-home students today. We're trying something a little bit different, just to kind of manage some of the technology of you being at home and just being able to communicate and being lost if things glitch out or anything like that. It's been a little difficult to kind of combine the groups, so we just wanted to send you off on your way. We are here the full time, live in person. If you have a question, I will be there to answer any questions. So if you ever have a question, feel free to come right back in the meet and ask that question in the chat or out loud, and we will get to you. But we're going to try having you kind of be a little bit more on your own at home, just because it is a lot to manage, having it all live and in person, and we're feeling like you're missing some of that instructional time where you could be doing things that are more productive. So we're just trying something new, okay? That doesn't mean every day is going to be like this, but we're going to try this for the next few days, and then we'll take it from there. All right, so we're doing a new activity called Hammurabi's Code Was It Just? This one is one of my favorites because it starts this new project and this new style of learning called the DBQ project. You may have heard of this before, a DBQ. You may not have. A DBQ stands for a document-based question. And we are going to be looking at this question and looking at documents and answering this. It's kind of like the tools and temperature and was agriculture good for humans? It's kind of like that, but just in a new, on a website and a program that is much more self-contained and much easier to use. And I really like it. And plus they have some pretty sweet pictures and things like that. So Hammurabi's Code Was It Just? We're going to find out who Hammurabi was. This little overview tells you he was one of the world's oldest sets of laws was written by Hammurabi, king of Babylon in the 18th century BCE. Hammurabi's Code is often studied to understand the value of ancient Mesopotamian. This mini-Q, and this is a mini DBQ because DBQs are really, really long. We're only looking at 5 documents. This mini-Q explores the idea of fairness, what is just, by asking you to think about the punishments and rewards that made up Hammurabi's Code. And there are 5 documents that go along with that. We're not going to get to all of them today. In fact, we're not going to get to any of them today. We're just doing some fun stuff and learning some background on it. So just a little bit about this DBQ. There are a bunch of tools here to help you write. You can highlight. You can change the colors, right? You can do all sorts of stuff on here. You can add text boxes. We're going to do that in just a second. I think this is just a box. You can delete it there just like I did. Here was a text box or a post-it note, and then you can type right on there. So you could delete it. Here's just a plain text box. There's plenty of options. You could change the color on here just to give you a little idea of how to use some things, because we're going to use these in just a minute. If you really want to have an arrow, you can have an arrow. You can get real fancy. You could pretend like it's poking him in the nose. Oh, it gets very, very fun. Endless hours of fun here. So again, we're going to move on. What you have to do today is complete this hook exercise, read the background essay, and answer the background essay questions. And those are on the next 2 pages here. So you can either navigate with these arrows or you can do this drop-down menu here. Okay, either one works. So the hook exercise, read this and complete each task. So leaders throughout history have had to grapple with the task of creating just or fair laws. One such leader was one of the first leaders to write down these laws, Hammurabi, whose laws are the subject of this mini-Q. Hammurabi's concern was creating just laws for the people of Babylonia 4,000 years ago. So unfortunately, can't do it with a partner, but I just want you to work on your own. There are 2 cases below and that discuss the questions. In each case, you'll consider justice in 3 ways. Is the outcome fair to the accused? Is the outcome fair to the victim? And is the outcome in the best interest of the general society? So I want you to read these cases, and I want you to make a text box here and answer these questions. So is it fair to Eddie? No, it isn't, because blah, 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 right? Don't say blah, blah, blah. You say the actual reason why it was fair or not fair to Eddie. okay? And you'll do that for, is it fair to Eddie, is it fair to Best Buy, and is it fair to society? You'll do that for all those, for case A and for case B for JD. He does something else at Best Buy. Then task 2, answer this question, write another text box over here. Pick one rule in your school and decide if it is just or fair and explain. All right, so do that. I like this. I like to hear your opinions on this. So we'll bring you back at the end of class and hear your opinions. The next part is a little bit more reading comprehension. You got to read this, but if you're feeling lazy, you can click the audio support right up here and it will read aloud to you for 3 minutes and 35 seconds. Read this, make sure you understand those vocab words, and then answer these questions on the next page about the background essay. All right, so there's 5 questions, and then number 6 is vocab words. And there's a little timeline here on the bottom. All right, so if you have any questions at all, please come back to the chat and ask, but this is just an overview of what we're doing today. Oh, you will find the code to this on Google Classroom. All right, so you'll find the code to this on Google Classroom on how to log you into this. You'll follow the link, and you'll get a classroom code just like you would in Google Classroom. It's on Google Classroom, and that's how you will log into this DBQ Online. All right, if you have any questions about that, ask me in the chat. Have a good day. We'll bring you back at the end of class. Just trying something new.